You know, there's a way that life teaches you things without words. It's subtle. A glance, a silence, a moment when the world feels heavy, and yet you feel someone's presence. That presence, it's everything. It's grounding, it's home. I want to tell you something simple, but it's the truth I carry in my chest every day. I need you. Not because you fix me, or complete me, or make my life perfect. None of that. I need you because you exist. Because you choose to walk beside me in the chaos, the mundane. The quiet nights when nothing feels right except that you're there. Love, real love, is not a movie. It's not grand gestures or dramatic declarations. It's waking up and seeing the same person over and over again, through their fears, their mistakes, their silent heartbreaks, and still wanting to choose them, every day. Even when the world tests you, even when the heart wavers, even when the past haunts you, I've made mistakes. I've faltered. I've said things I shouldn't, held back when I should have reached out, let pride speak louder than truth. And yet even in those moments I realize I still need you. Because love isn't about perfection. It's about commitment, about being present when life asks for patience, about seeing the soul beneath the walls people build around themselves. Love is choosing someone when it's inconvenient, when it's uncomfortable, when it's quiet. Love is loyalty, respect, and honesty stitched together in a life you're building together. I want to be the person who walks beside you, not ahead or behind. Someone who listens, who holds space, who offers understanding before judgment. I want to learn from you, grow with you, heal with you. I want to hold your hand through grief, celebrate your victories without envy, and stay steady when storms come, because I need you. And if there's a fear in saying that, it's only that I hope you hear it as it is, a quiet truth, not a demand. I am here. I am present. I am human, flawed, and learning. And in all of that, I need you. So, before anything else, before the noise of life, before the distractions and the chaos, let this be the first thing you note. I need you. Not tomorrow, not in a week, not when things are easier. I need you now. And I will keep choosing you, quietly, sincerely, with all the weight and humility of a heart that has learned what matters most, because love, real love, begins with truth, and truth is simple. I need you. Love is not what the world often tells us it is. It is not a fleeting feeling, a surge of excitement, or a perfect alignment of hearts and circumstances. Real love is quieter than that, more enduring, more patient. It is not always dramatic, not always loud, and often it does not arrive with fireworks or fanfare. True love arrives in the ordinary moments, in the steady rhythm of life shared with another person. It is the gentle presence that anchors us when the world feels chaotic, the understanding glance in the midst of misunderstanding, the unspoken reassurance that says, I am here, I am staying. Love is commitment before it is passion, loyalty before it is desire, patience before it is celebration. And that is what makes it enduring, what makes it real, what allows it to weather the inevitable storms of life. Commitment is not just a word we whisper at weddings or in fleeting promises. Commitment is a daily practice, a conscious choice that goes beyond emotions and beyond the easy moments. It is choosing to stand with someone even when they are difficult to understand, when they are hurting, when they have failed themselves and perhaps even you. Commitment is not blind. It is not about ignoring flaws or pretending everything is perfect. It is about seeing the whole person fully and completely, their fears, their scars, their doubts, and their strengths, and deciding that the connection, the bond, the shared journey is worth honoring and preserving. Love asks for attention, for patience, for willingness to grow alongside another human being, and it is only in this consistent, deliberate choice that commitment is proven. I have learned, often painfully, that love without commitment is fragile. The world is filled with moments that test us, that tempt us to seek easier paths, to chase excitement over stability, to value convenience over depth. Without commitment, love becomes a fleeting thing, a sensation that comes and goes like the tide. But with commitment, love becomes a sanctuary, a refuge in which two people can be vulnerable, can confront their fears, can heal from old wounds, and can grow into better versions of themselves. Commitment is the soil in which the roots of trust take hold, where loyalty flourishes, where respect deepens, and where intimacy becomes more than physical or emotional, it becomes spiritual. It is the invisible thread that binds lives together in a way that neither time nor distance can easily sever. To understand love as commitment, one must also understand patience. The human heart is complex. We carry histories that shape our reactions, insecurities that color our perceptions, and experiences that teach us both caution and fear. Sometimes, the person we love will disappoint us not because they are cruel or careless, but because they are human. They will make mistakes. They will falter. They will fail to meet our expectations, just as we inevitably fail theirs. And commitment asks us to respond not with anger or abandonment, but with understanding, with empathy, with an open heart willing to accept imperfection. This is not weakness. It is strength, the quiet strength that sustains love when passion alone would have faded. It is the strength to choose someone again and again, even when choosing feels difficult, even when it feels inconvenient, even when the world outside offers easier paths to solace. Respect is another cornerstone of love and commitment. To love someone truly is to honor their individuality, their autonomy, and their personal growth. It is to recognize that no person exists solely to fulfill your needs, and that the richest love is mutual, where both partners nurture each other while maintaining their own identities. Love does not demand ownership. It does not insist on control. It invites collaboration, dialogue, and shared understanding. To commit to someone is to respect their choices, to honor their boundaries, to listen when they speak, and to believe in the truth of their feelings, even when it challenges your own perspective. Respect is silent yet profound. It is the air that allows love to breathe and flourish rather than suffocate beneath possessiveness or expectation. Trust is the lifeblood of committed love. It is earned over time through consistent behavior, transparency, and integrity. Trust is fragile, easily broken by dishonesty, betrayal, or neglect, but when cultivated carefully, it becomes unshakable. It is not passive. Trust requires vulnerability, the willingness to open oneself to another with the hope that they will care for what is revealed. And trust demands reciprocity. It is the delicate dance of giving and receiving, a continuous affirmation that both hearts are aligned in their intentions and their actions. Without trust, love becomes a fragile illusion, easily shattered by fear and doubt. With trust, love becomes a sanctuary where souls can rest, share, and heal. There is a misconception that love is effortless, that it should always feel light and easy. In reality, the most profound love is often demanding. It asks for courage, patience, and a willingness to confront our own shortcomings. It asks us to examine our own fears, to wrestle with our pride, to forgive both ourselves and the person we love. Commitment requires work, not the kind of work that is burdensome, but the kind that is meaningful, the kind that deepens connection rather than drains it. It is the work of showing up consistently, listening attentively, apologizing sincerely, and acting with integrity. Love is a practice, a series of choices, a daily dedication to honor the bond we share with another human being. The truth about love and commitment is that it is neither fleeting nor conditional. It is not built on excitement alone, on physical attraction, or on convenience. It is built on understanding, on loyalty, on patience, on forgiveness, on shared growth. It is quiet, often invisible to the outside world, yet powerful enough to withstand the storms of life, the pressures of time, and the trials of circumstance. Those who have not experienced this kind of love may mistake it for stagnancy or boredom, but it is anything but. It is the deep, unwavering current beneath the surface of life, the foundation upon which all meaningful connections are built. Love as commitment asks us to look beyond ourselves, beyond immediate gratification, and beyond the allure of novelty. It asks us to place value on the shared journey rather than the destination. It asks us to hold space for another human being's growth while embracing our own. It asks us to recognize that real intimacy is cultivated through time, through experience, through both joy and hardship, rather than through fleeting passion. And in return, it offers a depth of connection that is transformative, a partnership that elevates, a bond that endures when everything else is impermanent. It is also important to acknowledge that commitment does not guarantee perfection. There will be disagreements, misunderstandings, and moments of doubt, but the essence of committed love is not in never faltering. It is in returning to each other, in choosing each other after the storm, in recommitting to understanding, respect, and growth. Commitment is the quiet promise that no matter the difficulties, no matter the trials, you will remain a steady presence in the life of the person you love. And in this promise, there is profound safety, profound intimacy, and profound beauty. The truth about love and commitment is both simple and complicated. Simple because at its core, it is a choice, a decision to show up every day, to honor another soul, to build a life together with patience and care. Complicated because humans are imperfect, life is unpredictable, and maintaining this commitment requires constant awareness, humility, and effort. But the beauty of this complexity is that it shapes us, refines us, teaches us empathy, patience, and resilience. It is in this shared labor of love that we find not only another person, but also a deeper understanding of ourselves. I have come to see that love and commitment are not acts of heroism, they are acts of courage wrapped in everyday choices. It is the courage to apologize when pride tempts us to remain silent, the courage to forgive when the heart wants to hold on to resentment, the courage to be vulnerable when fear urges concealment. And it is the courage to trust day after day, even when the past whispers doubt. Commitment is not flashy, it does not seek recognition, it does not crave applause. Its reward is quieter yet infinitely richer, the steady, enduring presence of someone who knows you, accepts you, and chooses you consistently. Ultimately, the truth about love and commitment is that it is a mirror. It reflects the best and worst of ourselves, revealing insecurities, fears, and limitations while also highlighting our capacity for empathy, patience, and generosity. It asks us to grow, not for the sake of perfection, but for the sake of deepening the connection we share with another. It reminds us that we are not solitary beings, that our lives are enriched, tested, and transformed by the people we choose to walk alongside. And it teaches us that the greatest love is never about possession, but about partnership, never about control, but about respect, never about fleeting passion, but about enduring presence. If there is one truth I have learned through all of life's quiet lessons, it is this: love and commitment are inseparable. One cannot exist meaningfully without the other. Passion without commitment fades, commitment without love is hollow. But together, they form a force that sustains, uplifts, and transforms. They are the anchors that hold us steady in a turbulent world, the gentle light that guides us when darkness surrounds, the quiet voice that reminds us that we are never truly alone. So, if you seek the truth about love, do not look for grand declarations or perfect moments. Look instead for the small, consistent acts of presence, understanding, and loyalty. Look for the willingness to choose someone every day, to honor them even when it is difficult, to listen even when you disagree, to support even when it requires patience, and to forgive even when it challenges your pride. That is the essence of love. That is the heart of commitment. And if you carry this truth with you, if you embody it in your relationships, you will discover a love that is not fleeting, not fragile, not superficial, but enduring, transformative, and profoundly human. Healing is often misunderstood. People imagine it as a sudden revelation, a moment of clarity that erases pain and makes everything okay again. But healing in relationships, in love, is rarely that neat or immediate. It is quiet, it is incremental. It is the gentle work of tending to the heart, addressing wounds that sometimes have no visible scar, and learning to move forward with awareness rather than denial. To love deeply, we must first acknowledge our own hurt and the hurt we may have caused. Healing requires honesty with oneself and with the person you care about. It demands patience, reflection, and a willingness to confront both the pain of the past and the complexities of the present. Only then can a relationship be a place of genuine growth rather than a battlefield of unspoken resentments. Forgiveness is the companion of healing, and yet it is often the most difficult part. Forgiveness does not mean excusing behavior, pretending harm did not occur, or ignoring patterns that need attention. True forgiveness is an act of liberation. It frees us from carrying bitterness, from letting the weight of someone else's actions dictate our emotional state. In the context of love, forgiveness is essential. Every person we encounter will inevitably make mistakes. Every person we love will inevitably disappoint us. Holding on to anger or resentment only erodes the foundation of connection. To forgive is to recognize the humanity of the person before you, to understand that mistakes are inevitable, and to choose to release the emotional burden that threatens the health of the relationship. Forgiveness is quiet, deliberate, and ongoing. It is the commitment to let go without diminishing your own boundaries or values. Equally important is the courage to seek forgiveness when we have caused harm. Pride often tempts us to justify our actions, to avoid vulnerability, or to hope that time alone will erase the discomfort we have inflicted. But relationships do not thrive in silence or avoidance. Healing begins when we confront our mistakes openly, without defensiveness, and with a sincere willingness to make amends. This is not about performing grand gestures or empty apologies. It is about acknowledging impact, taking responsibility, and demonstrating through consistent behavior that the person we love is valued and respected. The act of seeking forgiveness humbles us, reminds us of our shared humanity, and strengthens the bonds that sustain love over time. Choosing someone daily is the quiet rhythm that gives life to healing and forgiveness. Love is not merely a feeling. It is a conscious decision, a daily reaffirmation of commitment and care. Choosing someone means being present, attentive, and invested even when life is monotonous, stressful, or challenging. It is choosing the relationship over convenience, the connection over comfort, the shared journey over solitary ease. This choice does not always come naturally. It often requires reflection, patience, and a deliberate act of will. And yet, it is in this repeated choosing, in the small daily acts of affirmation, that love transforms from an abstract ideal into a living, breathing reality. Choosing someone daily also means embracing imperfection, both theirs and ours. No person can meet every expectation perfectly, and no relationship can remain unchallenged. Life will test patience, resilience, and understanding. There will be arguments, misunderstandings, and moments of doubt. In these moments, the choice to stay, to forgive, to listen, and to grow together becomes profoundly meaningful. It is not passive endurance, it is active engagement. It is the quiet heroism of emotional maturity, the recognition that love is cultivated through effort, reflection, and intentionality. Choosing someone daily is the ultimate expression of loyalty. because it is rooted not in fleeting feelings but in steadfast awareness, care, and commitment. Healing and forgiveness are also intertwined with self-awareness. We cannot fully nurture another person if we neglect our own emotional well-being. Love requires a balance between giving and maintaining boundaries, between empathy and self-respect, between openness and discernment. We must tend to our own wounds, confront our own fears, and cultivate emotional resilience. Only then can we extend true understanding and compassion to the person we love. Healing is not a solitary act, nor is it a gift freely given without effort. It is a mutual journey, requiring both introspection and shared commitment. In this space, relationships can become transformative, teaching us about patience, humility, and the power of choosing connection over resentment. Sometimes choosing someone daily also means accepting that love may not be easy or convenient. It means prioritizing presence over distraction, listening over reacting, and commitment over convenience. It is a practice of mindfulness in the context of relationships. A continual reminder that love is not an automatic state but a conscious, deliberate engagement. And in choosing someone every day, even when it is difficult, even when past hurts linger, even when life's pressures threaten to pull you apart, a profound trust is cultivated. This trust is not built on fantasy or expectation, but on the reality of shared experience, honesty, and mutual respect. Forgiveness in particular reshapes the way we understand connection. When we forgive, we acknowledge that the other person is capable of growth, that mistakes do not define the entirety of their being, and that love can be renewed through understanding. Likewise, when we are forgiven, we experience the liberating grace of acceptance and the opportunity to evolve without the constant shadow of shame. Healing and forgiveness are not singular acts, they are ongoing processes, interwoven into the fabric of daily life, reflecting the organic, evolving nature of human relationships. They remind us that love is neither static nor perfect, but resilient, adaptable, and profoundly human. The act of choosing someone daily is inseparable from vulnerability. Love demands openness, the courage to reveal one's true self without guarantee of reciprocity, and the willingness to take emotional risks. This is where trust is tested and strengthened, where bonds deepen, and where intimacy becomes genuine rather than performative. Vulnerability is not a weakness, it is a testament to courage, to authenticity, and to the commitment to build a shared life grounded in honesty and emotional presence. In embracing vulnerability, we invite healing to flourish, forgiveness to take root, and love to deepen beyond surface-level affection. Healing also requires patience with time itself. The heart does not recover overnight, and relationships do not resolve conflicts instantly. Trust, understanding, and emotional closeness develop slowly, often through repetition, consistency, and shared experience. In this slow unfolding, love demonstrates its endurance, its capacity to accommodate human imperfection, and its willingness to nurture growth rather than demand immediate resolution. Patience is not passive, it is active engagement with the rhythms of life and the realities of the human heart. It is a quiet, steady affirmation that despite challenges, love remains a conscious, lived choice. To love fully, to heal authentically, to forgive sincerely, and to choose daily is to participate in a practice that transforms not only the relationship but also the individuals within it. Each act of care, each expression of patience, each moment of vulnerability, each decision to remain present, teaches us about the depth of our own capacity for empathy, resilience, and understanding. Relationships, when approached with this mindset, become teachers, mirrors, and sanctuaries, revealing the profound beauty of human connection and the quiet, steadfast power of conscious love. Ultimately, the heart of this keynote is simple yet profound. Love is not passive. Healing is not optional. Forgiveness is not superficial. Choosing someone daily is not conditional. Together, these practices form the foundation of enduring relationships. They cultivate trust, deepen intimacy, and sustain commitment through the inevitable challenges of life. They remind us that love is not a fleeting emotion but a conscious, ongoing journey, a journey that requires courage, patience, humility, and the willingness to embrace both the beauty and the imperfection of another human being. And in this ongoing choice, in the quiet persistence of showing up for one another, we discover the true power and depth of love, grounded in reality, strengthened by shared experience, and illuminated by the daily commitment to presence, care, and understanding. Loyalty is often misunderstood in our modern culture. People equate it with blind adherence, unquestioning obedience, or staying in a relationship at all costs. But real loyalty is far more nuanced, far deeper, far more human than that. Loyalty is an alignment of the heart, the mind, and the will. It is not just about being physically present. It is about being emotionally available, ethically consistent, and morally invested in the well-being of the person you love. Loyalty is choosing to support someone not because it is convenient, not because the world is watching, but because your heart recognizes the value of trust, commitment, and shared growth. It is the quiet constancy that forms the backbone of every enduring relationship, the steady presence that whispers, without words, "I am here and I am not leaving." True loyalty requires courage. It requires the courage to stand beside someone when circumstances are difficult, when misunderstandings arise, when temptations or challenges threaten the stability of the bond. It is easy to be loyal when life is easy, when love is simple, when hearts are light. It is far more difficult and far more meaningful to be loyal when challenges emerge, when frustrations surface, when imperfections are exposed. Loyalty in these moments is an act of integrity, a reflection of character, and a testament to the depth of emotional commitment. It is not reactive, it is proactive. It is the deliberate choice to honor the relationship and the person you love, even when doing so is uncomfortable, inconvenient, or requires humility. Respect is inseparable from loyalty. To respect someone is to acknowledge their individuality, their autonomy, and their inherent worth as a human being. Respect is not conditional, it is not contingent on behavior or circumstance. It is an unwavering recognition that another person deserves dignity, understanding, and space to grow. In love, respect manifests in countless ways: listening without interrupting, honoring boundaries, valuing opinions even when they differ from our own, and responding with patience rather than judgment. Respect allows intimacy to thrive. It creates a safe space where vulnerability is not exploited, where emotions are not weaponized, and where hearts can connect without fear. Love without respect is fragile, loyalty without respect is hollow. Together, they create a foundation that is both stable and nurturing, capable of withstanding time, trials, and the inevitable mistakes that all humans make. Emotional maturity is the third pillar of lasting love. Emotional maturity does not mean perfection, nor does it mean the absence of emotion. It means the ability to recognize, process, and respond to emotions in a constructive and self-aware way. Emotional maturity is the skill of listening with empathy rather than reacting with anger, of apologizing sincerely rather than deflecting blame, of holding space for the other's pain while remaining grounded in your own truth. It is the ability to navigate conflict with composure, to engage in difficult conversations without fear, and to manage disappointment with resilience. Emotional maturity transforms love from a series of reactive moments into a conscious, steady journey. It allows two people to grow together rather than grow apart, to deepen connection rather than allow resentment to fester, and to cultivate trust in ways that are consistent, visible, and lasting. Loyalty, respect, and emotional maturity are not innate traits. They are cultivated through intention, reflection, and practice. They require mindfulness, self-awareness, and a commitment to personal growth. Relationships by their nature challenge us. They expose our weaknesses, confront our insecurities, and test our patience. But these challenges are not obstacles to love, they are its teachers. When approached with honesty and humility, every conflict, every misunderstanding, every moment of tension becomes an opportunity to exercise loyalty, demonstrate respect, and practice emotional maturity. In this way, the difficulties of love are not burdens. They are the very tools that shape its depth, resilience, and authenticity. A loyal partner is not someone who never falters or never disagrees. A loyal partner is someone who returns to the relationship with intention, who chooses presence over avoidance, and who works towards solutions rather than indulging in blame. Loyalty is measured not in dramatic gestures but in consistent, steady actions. It is the everyday kindnesses, the small attentions, the patient listening, the willingness to stand by someone even when it is inconvenient or uncomfortable. It is the quiet commitment to nurture the relationship's integrity, to honor promises both spoken and unspoken, and to protect the trust that has been built over time. Loyalty is the scaffold that supports love through the weight of life's uncertainties. Respect, too, requires vigilance and conscious effort. Respect is more than politeness or surface-level courtesy. It is an internal posture of acknowledgement, validation, and care. It is noticing the small things that matter to the person you love, honoring their preferences and values, and choosing responses that preserve dignity rather than demean. Respect is not passive, it is active, intentional, and ongoing. It requires reflection and the humility to recognize that one's own perspective is not the only valid perspective, that compromise is not defeat, and that validation does not diminish one's own truth. In loving with respect, we cultivate an environment where both individuals can flourish, explore, and express themselves fully, free from fear or inhibition. Emotional maturity amplifies the power of loyalty and respect by transforming reactions into choices. It allows us to respond to conflict with patience rather than defensiveness, to approach disappointment with understanding rather than resentment, and to practice forgiveness without diminishing our own needs. Emotional maturity is the skill of recognizing that love is not always easy, that relationships are not always smooth, and that the person we love is as human as we are, capable of brilliance, capable of error, and deserving of grace. With emotional maturity, We learn to navigate the complexities of life together, to hold space for growth, and to sustain a love that is profound, steady, and enduring. One of the greatest tests of loyalty, respect, and emotional maturity comes in moments of temptation, distraction, or disagreement. Life offers countless opportunities to stray from integrity, to allow pride or impatience to drive decisions, and to neglect the needs of the relationship. Yet those who cultivate these qualities choose to remain anchored in their values, to honor their partner's trust, and to respond with thoughtfulness rather than impulsivity. This is where true love proves itself, not in comfort or ease, but in the challenges that threaten to unravel the bond. In these moments, loyalty is reaffirmed, respect is demonstrated, and emotional maturity is exercised. The result is a relationship fortified against the trials of life, rich with understanding and capable of deep, lasting intimacy. Another essential aspect of emotional maturity is self-reflection. It is the willingness to examine one's own behavior, to recognize patterns that may harm the relationship, and to take responsibility for personal growth. Love is not solely about the other person, it is equally about the reflection of oneself that emerges in partnership. By acknowledging our own flaws, confronting our fears, and cultivating patience and empathy, we contribute to a relationship that is balanced, equitable, and resilient. Emotional maturity transforms love from dependency into partnership, from reaction into deliberate engagement, and from fleeting desire into enduring connection. Loyalty, respect, and emotional maturity also shape the way we communicate. Words, tone, and timing all carry profound weight in relationships. Communicating with respect means listening actively, speaking honestly without harshness, and honoring the other person's feelings as valid. Emotional maturity tempers impulsivity and allows thoughtful responses, reducing the likelihood of unnecessary conflict and increasing the potential for understanding. Loyalty reinforces the commitment to these principles, reminding us that our words and actions carry significance, that they have the power to heal or harm, and that maintaining integrity in communication is a daily choice that strengthens the relationship. Ultimately, the essence of Keynote 3 is that enduring love is not a matter of chance or luck. It is cultivated through consistent loyalty, grounded respect, and the steady application of emotional maturity. These qualities are not theoretical, they are tangible acts, visible in patience, presence, understanding, forgiveness, and deliberate choice. They are the quiet forces that sustain relationships when passion alone would falter, when circumstances are difficult, and when the human tendency toward distraction, pride, or selfishness threatens to fracture connection. By embodying these principles, love becomes not only enduring but transformative, allowing two people to grow, heal, and thrive together in a shared life of purpose, care, and intimacy. Loyalty, respect, and emotional maturity are not endpoints, they are ongoing practices, cultivated with intention and care every day. They remind us that love is a living, breathing journey, one that requires conscious engagement rather than passive expectation. They remind us that the people we choose to love are not possessions but companions, worthy of understanding, patience, and honor. And they remind us that the most profound, enduring, and meaningful love is the love that is built slowly, nurtured carefully, and maintained with quiet dedication, even in the absence of drama or spectacle. This is the love that withstands time, trials, and life's unpredictability, a love that is real, human, and deeply transformative.